Whether it's going through a divorce, having a baby, or losing your job, we've all faced changes that can turn our world upside down. So, how do you thrive when you're faced with a life-altering event?
Career coach Maggie Mistal had a premature baby while on vacation. That game changer forced her and her family to temporarily relocate to another state. And Cali Williams Yost is a work-life flexibility expert and an author of a new book. It's called Tweak It. Make what matters to you happen every day.
Tweak it. Like that.
So sometimes,
welcome, ladies.
Hey guys. So sometimes there is this, like you had. Tell us a little bit about your life change. You were just on a vacation, weren't you? And then
well,
this
I'm a
happened.
New Yorker, so we were down there visiting my in-laws, and we've done this Florida, Keys actually, Florida Keys retreat every year. And I was like, well, I'm having a baby, so I want to go early.
And how far along were you in your pregnancy?
I was 27 weeks, and so we got down to Florida, and we were planning to stay 10, 12 days. And about 3 or 4 days in, I started to have some complications. And went to a hospital in Miami, and they said, you're not going anywhere. And then another few days later, I had the baby.
And the baby was premature. We should point out that now the baby is 2 years old and thriving.
Thank God.
Yes.
Those have been tough years,
yes.
I'm sure.
And
a difficult start, a big shock. When you talk about big change, you're expecting a baby, but not that early.
And you had to do
not
things.
one that fits in your hand like
no,
that.
he did. He fit right here.
And you had to make. I mean, when there's a big life change like she had, there are certain things that obviously your world gets turned inside out, and it's hard to find any normalcy, isn't it?
Yes. In fact, what Maggie and her husband Craig figured out is that when you go through a big change like that unexpectedly, you really do have to become your own advocate, and you really look to the routine that gets you through. So how do you put control around something that feels like chaos in a big life transition? You want to focus on the small, everyday successes or tweaks that build a foundation of well-being and order. So you want to harness you want to harness the power of the small things to get through the big things.
Right.
So what did you do? What kind of things kind of helped you along the way?
Callie was the first person I actually called after everybody in our family, and I was like, okay, we're going to be here for a while.
Did they tell you it was going to be a long haul?
They said you will be here through his due date, which was another 3 months potentially.
Okay.
We're like, okay, well, luckily, at least career-wise, my husband and I are both freelance, so we could work from anywhere, but I had a radio show, and I was like, I want to go back to work, so what can I do? And Callie's like, you can do it remotely. Why don't you try it? And some people, I went back 2 weeks after I had the baby, and some people were shocked by that. But for me, as Callie said, it restored some sort of normalcy to the routine, and it gave me something else to focus on, because having a baby in that situation is so intense, and you're not in control. There's nurses and doctors in control. It really made a big difference, that kind of tweak, to bring that show back.
Sometimes you feel like if you take your eye off the main problem, you're not paying enough attention to it. It's like sometimes the little things that help you throughout your day may be to get a little workout in, if you can, so you feel stronger to help, but you feel selfish.
Control the things you can control.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so you carve out those small actions. So look at the areas in your life that are meaningful to you right now, and then break those into activities and actions that you can put into the next 7 days. So, for example, with Maggie, she wanted to focus on her job and on Mercer, so she looked at how she could do her radio show remotely, but also be there for him. And the small action she took was find a radio booth she could transmit from.
Right.
But then also she has an angel that she put in Mercer's crib so that she could be with him, but not when she couldn't actually physically be there. So that's a small tweak she could do.
That made a huge difference. So you're still holding on to it, so obviously it meant a lot.
Tremendously, yeah. I mean, to go through that situation as a first child too, I mean, you want to be there 24/7, and I think my husband and I would have slept next to his crib if we could, but this helped.
So for people who are just going through, let's pretend like you're going through a divorce or something like that, are there some ABCs that they should tell us real quickly about?
Well, the first is, again, break it into small tweaks that you could put in the next 7-day period, and keep a calendar, all of your to-dos in one place. We tend to keep our work and our personal calendar separate. Keep what you want to do at work, in your personal life, for your family, all in one place. You can see a map of what you're trying to accomplish. Exactly.
And don't beat yourself up if you don't accomplish all of them.
No, and just reflect and know what you need, and then keep doing it.
Okay, ladies. Thank you.
Thanks for coming to see us.
Mercy's doing great.
Thank
God bless.
you.
All righty.